right, good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's November 4th, 2020. And of course, we are abiding by the governor's guidelines. You can participate in the meeting by going online and clicking on the Zoom link. Or you can always send in an email or give us a call. So we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And Commissioner Netherland, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
I would be honored. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ask the clerk to call roll, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Studi.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Press.
I'm here. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence to report?
There was an application received from George Blush for the Housing Authority Board. Brenda Hershey sent in a letter resigning from the Mason County Trustee Timberland Library District, and a response from the Timberland Regional Library, Cheryl Haywood, was received also. A letter was received from the Federal Emergency Management Agency regarding flood insurance rate map. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in a liquor license approval for Potlatch Brewing Company. Ken Van Buskirk complimented the Public Works Department and Rod LaRue for their prompt response to a partially plugged culvert on Irene Creek, and he commented on the scoping notice and materials for the Belfair Planned Action EIS. And Richard Kreis sent in a letter on tabulation of recent elections.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to item 4.2. We have a news release. Loretta, are you available to help us out with this news release?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a news release regarding a partnership between the county and PUD3 for tree removal on the North Shore Road. Mason County Public Works is advising motorists that the county and PUD3 will be working together to proactively remove potential hazardous trees from the banks of the North Shore Road between milepost 14.19, that's near the intersection with Belfair Tahuya Road, to milepost 19.76 near Old Cedar Hill Lane. The collaborated effort is to potentially reduce the number of power outages and emergency road closures due to fallen trees. The project will be a mobile unit with one lane open to traffic that will require temporary delays, crews to safely fall trees, not follow trees, during daylight hours, Monday through Friday. The project is anticipated to take 2 weeks to complete. A reader board will be stationed at the beginning of North Shore Road to advise motorists of potential delays during the project. We appreciate your patience and understanding during the project. If you have questions, please contact Public Works at 360-427-9670 or Belfair at 360-275-4467 or Elma 360-482-5269, extension 450.
Well done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to the crews. We really appreciate the partnership with PUD.
We do. They are definitely an asset to Mason County.
Absolutely.
Yes. So let's move on to item number 4.3. And I'm going to read a quick little letter. My goodness.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday. Dear Commissioners, the Department of Ecology's Southwest Regional Office is pleased to give to you the enclosed Outstanding Performance Award for 2019 for the Russellwood Wastewater Treatment Plant. We recognize the effort and attention to detail that is required of your operating staff to consistently meet our permit requirements in good weather and bad during normal conditions and unforeseen emergencies. We are grateful for their effort and the city's efforts to protect water quality. Sincerely, Andrew Colosius, Southwest Region Section Manager, Water Quality Program and Ecology. So here's the award. I don't know if you can read it through the glare.
Wow.
It is pretty cool. We'll have it in the office if anyone would like to take a look. But that's the accomplishment. All right, let's move on to item number 4.4. Commissioner Schutte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a proclamation today in recognition of Thanksgiving Day that is later on this week that I will read. Whereas Thanksgiving has been an important part of American tradition, originating to when the Pilgrims and Wampanoags feasted during the first Thanksgiving in October of 1621. And whereas modern Thanksgiving was first officially called for in all states by a presidential proclamation of Abraham Lincoln in 1863, pardon me. And whereas since then it has become a beloved national holiday celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November every year, in which families, friends, neighbors, and even strangers gather to reflect on what they are thankful for. And whereas although this year, due to COVID-19, we might not be able to celebrate Thanksgiving as we would like, spending time with extended family and friends in person, we can take time to show our gratitude for our blessings and enjoy this day of giving in other ways, creating new memories and traditions. And whereas many have suffered greatly this year due to COVID-19, including sickness, job loss, food insecurity, and mental health distress, we also remember in a special way those in Mason County and across our state and nation who are currently sick with, recovering from, and have passed away due to COVID-19. And whereas countless healthcare workers, first responders, and community service volunteers will spend Thanksgiving away from their families, working to support the public's health, safety, and well-being. Now, therefore, the Board of Mason County Commissioners hereby proclaims November 2016, 2020, the Day of Thanksgiving in Mason County, and wish all residents a happy, healthy, and joy-filled Thanksgiving, adopted this 24th day of November 2020.
Great, thank you. It's definitely a different Thanksgiving for everyone, I think, this year.
Mm-hmm.
But we still all have so much to be thankful for.
Very true.
Thank you. Let's move on to item number 5. This is the time we set aside to give the public the opportunity to address the commission regarding items not on today's agenda. If you wish to address the commission, please raise your hand. I do see a hand raised. When I call on you, please state your name and your address. Is this Peggy or is this Ken Van Buskirk?
Can you hear me? This is Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yep, go ahead and let us know or fill us in on your comments.
Okay, great. Thank you. Again, I'd like to compliment Public Works and their attention to that issue on Irene Creek. I've never seen the water as high as I have in Irene Pond. I think it's a combination of beaver activity and probably upstream development, but there's a lot of water in that pond. And commissioners, I wanted to thank you for participating in that EIS sub-area plan update last Thursday. And I hope you heard my comments about the GIS stream layer and the inaccuracies in that. After all these years, I'm happy to see that the sub-area plan is being updated, and I'm excited to see portions of the UGA potentially being removed. As you are aware, this is something that I've long advocated for, particularly here in the Union River Valley and on top of the critical aquifer recharge area. The North Mason Regional Fire Authority had a neighbor meeting earlier that same evening in which only 2 neighbors participated. They are on a much faster track for SEPA in construction than the planned action EIS and the sub-area plan update. It'd be nice if they were folded into or involved in the sub-area plan and the EIS process, as they are currently in the UGA. And if you recall, a big selling point to voters was bringing in the sheriff's department and Mason County's EMS services to that existing building. I have significant concerns about the existing stormwater facilities at that building and how they affect Irene Pond and Irene Creek. And I fear they'll be very costly to update whoever takes over that building, because that was built in the 70s, that way before they had any kind of stormwater requirements. Also, I'm concerned about the potential noise and traffic safety issues with the construction of this new, it sounds like a rather large facility. I like the concept of the facility, but I just am not certain that that location is the best for it to be. And I would like to suggest to you that maybe a joint meeting with the Regional Fire Authority, or just suggest to them that their plan should be incorporated with the planned action EIS and the sub-area plan update, not just rezoning the property as was suggested last week. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you so much and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Kim.
Okay.
All right. Do we have other members of the public that would like to address the commission? All right, I'm not seeing any hands. So let's move on to item number 6, adoption of the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move for adoption of the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adoption of the agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Move on to item number 7, approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move for approval of November 9th, 2020, November 16th, 2020 briefing minutes.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the November 9th, 2020 and November 16th, 2020 briefing minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Moving on to item number 8, approval of today's action agendas. Commissioners will read the items on the action agenda. Commissioners or members of the public can ask questions and or have the item removed for a separate discussion and vote. I will take items 8.1 and 8.2. Commissioner Netherland, if you could take item 8.3 and 8.4. Commissioner Schutte, if you could take item 8.5 and 8.6. Approval of warrants and treasurer electronic remittances. Claims clearing fund warrants number 8075631 through 7085933 in the amount of $2,019,528.39. Item 8.2, approval of the contract in the amount of $20,000 with United Way and Mason County Public Health for isolation, quarantine, and community support services related to COVID-19 response. This is from the Coronavirus Relief Fund program.
Madam Chair, item number 8.3 reads approval to award an additional $155,000 to the PUD3 to reimburse for COVID-related expenses for Wi-Fi hotspots. Item number 8.4, approval to amend the contract with Mason County EDC for grants to local businesses that have incurred losses due to the pandemic closures. This amendment allows up to an additional $250,000 for grants to businesses and up to $25,000 to reimburse the EDC for the administration of this program.
Item 8.5, approval to set a public hearing on Tuesday, December 15th, 2020 at 9:15 a.m. to consider budget supplemental appropriations and amendments to the 2020 budget. Total requests for adjustments to the general fund are $430,000. Item 8.6, approval for the board to sign on to the Association of Washington Cities and Washington State Association of Counties letter to the governor concerning fully funding the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board 2021 through 2023 project list.
Thank you. Now that we've read through today's action agenda, are there any items you would like to be removed for a separate vote or discussion? No? Okay, any items to be removed by the public? I'm not seeing any hands. All right. Do we have any discussion or a motion?
Madam Chair, I move approval of items 8.1 through 8.6 on today's action agenda, and I will have a comment.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Moving on to discussion.
Madam Chair, I want to note, it wasn't, I didn't want to pull it off for a separate vote, but just to note that the hearing on December 15th, those numbers add up or line up rather with items 8.3 and 8.4 to get the relief back out into the community. So when we use CARES Act funding, we have to make the appropriate adjustment on the budget side. And so since we made those decisions yesterday, that's what that lines up with. So we have to have another hearing on the budget that is in addition to the one that's on December 8th. So just a point of clarification to folks watching out in the community to know that that those are all connected, and happy to have an opportunity to get that out into the community and put it to work.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to give a thank you to the commission. This approval that we're doing for the EDC and the grants program for these businesses, the public should know that these monies were scheduled to end up in our ending fund balance, but this commission decided that it was more important to get this money out to save another business or two or many. And I know for a fact, after looking at the numbers and looking at some of the grants we'll be giving, I know firsthand that there are businesses that are being saved by this, not helped, saved. And with that being said, I just want to thank the commission for digging deep on that to make something different happen, because we could have easily just continued on and just let that end up in our ending fund balance, of which we need it. But the community needed it more. So thank you, commissioners.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a necessary thing for us to utilize those dollars to get out there and help when and where we can. And given the existing contract with the EDC, it helps that process along. So happy to do that.
And thank you to the EDC. Without all their hard work, we wouldn't be able to distribute this and do this. So the EDC has been a godsend to this county this year.
Right, the assistance that they've helped guide our businesses through the process, and their personal attention to this is, I couldn't say enough about, to the gratitude that I feel.
Yeah.
That the business owners also feel. So we do appreciate them. It's quite the year. All right. Moving on to the adoption of the motion to adopt the action agendas, items 8.1 through 8.6. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, move on to item number 9. Other business. Do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission?
Turned around, so I take that's a no.
I think that's a no. All right, and we are past 9:15, so we are going to move on to item number 10, public hearings. We have a public hearing to, to consider or to certify the county assessor the amount of taxes levied for county purposes and the amount of taxes levied for current expense and road for 2021, and an increase to the current expense and road property tax levies for 2021 may be considered. Ask staff to come forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is Jennifer Byerly, and I would like to start this public hearing. It is to certify to the county assessor the amount of taxes levied for county purposes and the amount of taxes levied for current expense and road for 2021. An increase to the current expense and road property tax levies for 2021 may be considered, as you just stated. And some background: pursuant to RCW 84.52.070, The commissioners must certify to the county assessor the amount of taxes levied for county purposes and for each taxing district by adoption of a resolution by November 30th. The recommended action is, there's 3 different recommended actions. Number 1, for the current expense levy, increase the levy by 0% and bank excess capacity. The recommended action is to move to increase the 2021 current expense property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $10,466,495.61. The second recommended action on the road levy is move to increase the 2021 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,208,298.03. This includes a diversion of the road levy of $1,080,000 and a levy shift to current expense of $1,080,000 as well. This would bring the amount that roads brings in down to $9,048,298.03, and the amount for the current expense levy to $11,546,495.61. The third recommended motion or action is move to adopt the 2021 current expense and road property tax levy resolutions and continue the hearing to the December 8th, 2020 commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt the resolution certifying to the county assessor the property tax levies for collection in 2021. And those are all of the recommended motions. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank Sierra Stiles in the assessor's office for her help and expertise in putting these resolutions together. So thank you very much, Sierra. Okay, are there any questions or comments on any of these recommended actions?
So Jennifer, just to be clear, we need to do this in 3 separate motions, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can wait and sign all of the resolutions later, or you can, when we move the hearing to December 8th, or you can sign all of them except for the resolution certifying property tax levies for collection in 2021 with once the assessor has all of the levies and all of the backup. But I would recommend signing the current expense and road property tax levy resolutions today, get those adopted, and then move the other one to December 8th.
Gotcha.
That certifies all the levies.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions, any more questions for staff? No. Okay. Do we have any questions from the public? I'm not seeing anything, and I don't believe that anything has come in either email or through the phone. All right, we'll move to commissioner deliberation or a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask to make a motion here that to show our constituents that we do care and understand the situations that are going on, that we do not increase our taxes this year, but instead move to increase the current expense property tax levy by 0% and bank the excess capacity, setting the levy at $10,466,495.61.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to increase the 2021 current expense property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $10,466,495.61. Do we have further discussion, or should we?
Just a compliment to the commission. I can assure you other counties are not doing the same. I'm proud of you, all of us.
This was a priority. I think that we shared going into the budget this year, recognizing the challenges that people are facing. We can't speak for junior taxing districts or the state and what they do on the property tax side, but for our piece of it, this was a year that it was worth considering. Providing some tax relief to Mason County's portion of the property tax. And there's still a lot that needs to be worked out. And we're going to get into adopting a 2021 budget here in a couple of weeks. But this has been such a unique year that when we've worked, I think, very hard over the past couple of years to build up our fund balance so that we could weather situations like this, and to Commissioner Netherland's point, this was a good year to consider not taking the increase and not putting that back on the taxpayers when so many other counties are, and so I share his gratitude, and I appreciate staff, both our budget staff and in the assessor's office, working through this and providing us with a good picture of the finances and allowing us the opportunity to deliberate it and make this decision on behalf of our constituents.
And this being my second budget year, this has been quite the experience and quite the year to have so many things going on. Our budget staff and the assessor's office have been so helpful, and I appreciate them so very much. And we do want to make sure that Mason County residents are taken care of as much as we can. So all of those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Moving on to, and now we move on to number 2, the road levy.
Madam Chair, I move to increase the 2021 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,208,298.03. This includes a diversion of the road levy of $1,080,000 and a levy shift to current expense of $1,080,000.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we want comments now or after the vote? Any comments? Deliberation?
Well, I'll chime in again. This is the same thing as before. We're just thankful to be in this position where, a lot of hard work has gone on for years to put us in a good financially strong position in this county. A lot of hard work from the commission, and you guys deserve a pat on the back for all that. With that being said, because of that, we're able to do this year in a time when it's truly needed out there in our community. Again, you should be proud, and I'm sure thankful that we can do this. It doesn't always go this way.
Yeah, I would echo the sentiment, and I feel blessed in that I'm working with two people that understand so much. And commissioners, I do appreciate you guys.
Same.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Oh, hold on. To move to increase the 2021 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excise capacity, and set the levy at $11,208,298.03. This includes a diversion of the road levy of $1,080,000 and a levy shift to current expense of $1,080,000. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Move on to item number 3.
Before we do that, Jennifer, which do you prefer? Are you have any worries that we need to make any changes? Or are you comfortable with go ahead and passing it now and send it on forward?
I'm comfortable with you passing to sign the resolutions, all of them except for the one where you have to certify all of the levies, which is the motion you're about to do to extend that public hearing, because the districts have until today, by the end of the day, to turn in their levies. So the assessor's office hasn't received all of their information. But yes, I'm comfortable with the county road and the current expense.
And you're comfortable passing it as written here. Okay,
Yes.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the 2021 current expense and road property tax levy resolutions and continue the hearing to the December 8th, 2020 commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt the resolution certifying to the county assessor the levies for collection in 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Move to adopt the 2021 current expense and road property tax levy resolutions and continue the hearing to the December 8th, 2020 commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt the resolution certifying to the county assessor the property tax levies for collection in 2021. Do we have discussions or shall we move on to the vote?
Nothing from me, Madam Chair.
All right, let's move on to the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the motion passes. Do we applaud now? Okay, very cool. Let's move on to item 10.2. This is a public hearing to consider the sale of real property located at 2169 and 2179 Lake Boulevard in Shelton, Washington. Parcel number 3203051071010 and 320351100001 for $42,000 or $42,500 to Habitat for Humanity, and ask staff to come forward. I guess, well, to unmute and speak. Frank? There you are. Oh, there you go.
Yep, sorry about that. As you mentioned, this is a public hearing for public comment to consider the sale of real property located at 2169 and 2179 Lake Boulevard in Shelton, Washington. Parcel numbers 32030-51-07010 and 32030-51-10001 for $42,500 to the Habitat for Humanity.
Do we have questions for staff? Hearing none. Any questions from our public? And seeing none. We'll move to commissioner deliberation or a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the sale of real property located at 2169 and 2179 Lake Boulevard in Shelton, Washington, parcel number 32030-51-07010 and 32030-51-10001 for the amount of $42,500 to Habitat for Humanity.
Madam Chair, I'll second with a comment, please.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to consider the sale of real property located at 2169 and 2179 Lake Boulevard in Shelton, Washington, parcel number 32030-51-07010 and 3203-51-10001 for $42,500 to Habitat for Humanity. And comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, just so the public knows, I don't have all the information here in front of me, but this has come before us a couple of times. This did meet the arm's length transaction amount of time on the market. We ended up coming down on the price quite a bit, but there's reasons for that. We could have actually given these properties to Habitat, and in the future, we might want to have those conversations to help them out. But one of the biggest issues that came out of these properties is the cost of actually developing them in the city. The different fees and costs that they put upon it made it the value of the property go way down. So I just want to make that known for the public, and that's the reason for the price cut. but in the future, we can have maybe some discussions about Habitat for Humanity and how to help them. Many years ago, we actually had made arrangements to get them some properties for next to nothing so they could develop, but this will put a couple people in homes in the future. And our community always needs that.
Very true. All right. And just real quick, I want to make a plug for Habitat for Humanity. They are an amazing organization and they've helped so many families. Can't tell you how many gems I found in their store hoping, and I know that that money goes towards helping families move in. So that's just a little plug. All right, all of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. Yay. Let's move on to item number 11. Board reports and calendars. Commissioner Netherland, if you could go first. Commissioner Schutte second, and then I will follow.
Okay, Madam Chair, we had our area command meetings during the week. Finance Committee, the exit meeting with the state auditor, budget workshops, executive session regarding legal, Board of Health meeting, Mason Transit Authority meeting. I met with North Mason Chamber of Commerce Executive Board. We had our Belfair Community Workshop in regards to the EIS. I had a meeting with the Gorse Coalition group briefings and another closed session for union discussions. This next week and forward on to our next meeting, we have area command briefings, WASAC virtual meetings, left board meeting, RIA 15 meetings, MTEA, Mason Transit Authority policy meetings, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization executive board meeting, and brings us back for budget hearings.
Madam Chair, just one item that I want to note in particular, two items, I guess, from last week that I want to note. One, again, just very grateful to staff in DCD on working on the Belfair EIS public meeting on Thursday night last week. It was really informative. It was great to get, start seeing some of those thoughts come together for the community to review. And I know there are still a few checkpoints along the way, but it's just really exciting to have that project up and running. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for the Belfair UGA going forward. And the other item that I want to talk about from last week was we had normally it would have been tomorrow, but we, due to the holiday, we moved our Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board meeting to last Thursday. And we're preparing the annual report that's required by the resolution that established that committee. And that'll come before the commission in January. But one number really jumped out at me, and I have to really credit our staff, in particular Todd Parker, for his work on housing and homelessness in Mason County. In 2017 and 18, for that year, there were 352 literally homeless people counted in Mason County. For the year 2019, 2020, we've seen that number go down to 172. 172 homeless people is still too many. We all agree on that. But to be able to cut that nearly in half is a real testament to our staff in our housing program, but also our community partners throughout the county that work so hard with coordinated entry and really work to get people either do the homelessness prevention and help them when they're on the verge of becoming homeless to prevent that. Help them through rapid rehousing programs and help them through coordinated entry and shelter services. And so we couldn't do it on our own, for sure. We have great partners in the community, but this year being what it is and the challenges that we're facing, now is the right time to double down on ensuring that we continue to cut that number down from 172 and get that even lower. We can do it. And I know we have the partnerships in the community to make that happen. Moving forward, have a few items today, just getting caught up and ahead of things on in the office today. Next week, we have briefings, the WASAC virtual assembly, the Mason County Crisis Care Coordination meetings, the Skokomish Watershed Action Team meeting, as well as back then for our budget on December 7th.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I also want to comment on the Bill Fair EIS meeting. That was the first one I participated in, and it was the vision of the possibilities, I guess, is pretty encouraging and pretty exciting. So this afternoon I have a canvassing board meeting. Of course, we have our EOC meetings and meeting with the EDC and the chambers regarding the restaurants and how we can help them. Next week, we have our briefing, the Wasatch Virtual Assembly. And then there is a 2020 Regional Economic Forecast and Innovation Expo, of course, virtual. We have a CARES funding meeting. I have Public Works on Friday. And then we are back here for budget activity. And of course, Thanksgiving. I truly want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And I'm sure it'll be different for all of us this year. There's so much that we all need to be thankful for. Family, friends. There's so much more. So,
Madam Chair, if I could just make one comment, first off, I want to thank you. You represent the commission on the canvassing board. Elections are difficult. And in particular, this year, there has been so many questions raised about outcomes and integrity. And I wanted, first off, thank you for being a part of that process. It's not an easy one. Commissioner Netherland and I have both served on the canvassing board, and we know how sacred that responsibility is to certify elections and go through that process. But I want folks to know that I have full confidence in the integrity of our election system here in Mason County and across Washington State. We have a lot of checks and balances on the election system, the vote by mail system that we have here. And if folks watched the canvassing board yesterday, they saw a thorough review of the challenged ballots, including ones that were questionable, being reviewed by a bipartisan board of canvassers. And so I want folks to know that they should have confidence in our electoral system here in Mason County and in our state, regardless of whether or not their candidate of choice prevailed or not. And so I know you're going into that meeting this afternoon to certify the election. Grateful for you doing that. And I want people to know that they can trust the system that we have in place here. And I have no questions about the integrity of both Patty McGuire, our county auditor, when it comes to doing the right thing on ballots. And I have absolutely no question in the integrity of our Secretary of State, Kim Wyman, and how she administers elections in this state.
I would echo that as well. And being a part of the canvassing board it's a great education, and it's an opportunity to make sure that the elections are honest and open, and so thank you, Commissioner Schutte. Appreciate that. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
We are adjourned.
happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, everybody.